Good evening, folks. Your town council would like to welcome you to the regular town council meeting of Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. We'd ask that you all rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Hayes, would you call the roll, please?
Chair O'Neill.
Here.
Vice Chair Tusignet.
Here.
Councilor Reed.
Here.
Councilor Kelly.
Here.
Councilor Blow.
Here.
Thank you. Acknowledgements this evening. Council have anything? To good and welfare this evening. Just for the knowledge of the public, council has received its second packet of applications for the town manager's position. And actually, council, if we could iron out and confirm the first 3 dates, the original 3 dates that we talked about. We had a meeting last night at the police station executive session to review those applications. We'd like to start moving forward with the interview process. So if council is comfortable, we'll stick with the original 10th, 11th, and 12th. The dates we talked about at the meeting last night. Okay, and the same times, nothing will change.
No change.
No change.
So, right, 10, 11, and 12.
Yep, February 10th.
Change my schedule all back again.
Correct, same times as discussed yesterday. So we'll have 3 days of interviews conducted at the police station. Okay, perfect, thank you, and I'll get back to Mr. Garish tomorrow to let him know. Thank you for doing that. If there is nothing else under good and welfare, to the acceptance of minutes. You accept the regular town council meeting minutes from Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, and the town council workshop meeting minutes from Tuesday, January 12th, 2021.
I motion to approve and thank our council secretary for the excellent job she does.
Thank you, Councilor Reed. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ken. Motion has been made and second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion carries 5-0. Public hearing, business licenses and approval. Scott McCrum, JBTS Inc., doing business as Joseph's by the Sea, 31033 55 West Grand Avenue, victualers with preparation with beer, wine, and or liquor. Eden Barabee, 403 423 98 Cascade Road, 1 year round rental with conditional license. And Kristen Tate and Samuel Glueckert, 320-114-11 West Tioga Avenue, number 2, 1 year round rental. We'll open the public hearing at 6:34. Comments from members of the public? Comments from council?
Through the chair, question?
Go ahead.
Larry, on the back page, it says term of agreement on Eden Barabee,
Yes,
and it says this agreement shall be in effect for 2 consecutive business license periods. Is there a reason why it wouldn't be made permanent? I mean, what's the purpose of that?
because it can be, council has to grant the license each time that the business license is renewed. And so if there are no issues at that location during those 2 licensing periods, then it wouldn't be necessary potentially to continue with the restrictions.
Well,
Or the council, as it entertains them
Right.
at that time, can
So-
choose to do it.
Right, so my question would be that if he follows those restrictions for 2 consecutive periods, and there's another question with that one, those 2 consecutive business license periods, are they 2 two-year terms or 2 one-year terms?
They're 2 two-year terms.
So it's for 4 years?
Well, except it may be that his business license now is in the middle of the licensing period, so it
Okay.
could end up being 3 years.
So then my question would be that if there are no problems, it would be because of the terms of agreement on this. So then if we or somebody was to just change it at that point, or allow it to be changed, wouldn't there be the potential for the problems to come back?
It could be, usually, I mean, almost invariably when we enter into these consent agreements, because of licensing issues, they do have a sunset clause on them,
Okay,
which is to essentially give the business license owner the benefit of the doubt in terms of them being able to continue without that. Can always come back if they don't do it properly.
okay.
If there's no additional comments or questions, Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, counsel. Motion has been made and second. If there's no further discussion, we'll close the public hearing at 6:36. Motion carries 5-0. To public hearing, special amusement and approval, Scott McCrum, JBTS, Inc., doing business as Joseph's by the Sea, 31033, amend the special amusement permit for inside DJ for weddings, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., to also include acoustic entertainment on the outside deck. Open the public hearing at 6:36. Comments from members of the public? Comments, questions of council?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, council. Motion has been made in second. There's no further discussion. We'll close the public hearing at 6:37, and the motion will carry 5-0. To our town manager's report this evening. Mr. Mead.
Thank you, Chair O'Neill. So I would like to, once again, with the new year, remind residents who own your own home in Old Orchard Beach about the homestead exemption that's available to all homeowners who are full-time residents or for whom Old Orchard Beach is their primary residence, regardless of age or income. Under the program, your tax bill is reduced by $385. This can be significant for many of our homeowners, particularly, for example, if you own a home that's valued at $200,000, you would save 12.5% of your tax bill through the homestead exemption. And there are some who own mobile homes for whom the homestead exemption could mean a savings as much as 70% of their tax bill. So it's significant for a lot of people. If you are a year-round homeowner, and you don't know whether you're receiving the homestead exemption, but think that you should be, just call our assessor's office at Town Hall and ask whether or not you've qualified for the exemption already. Or you can go to our assessor's department page on the town website for further information. In order to qualify for the upcoming tax year, if you already have a homestead exemption, you don't need to do anything. That just continues as long as you own that residence and it's your primary home. But if you don't have one, then you have to file an application prior to April 1st of this year in order to be eligible for the homestead exemption for the next tax year, 2021-2022. So please investigate that. Ready or not, it's, again, with the new year, we're already in the process of looking for summer help in several departments, and we're accepting applications now for a number of positions, including police reserve officers, recreation staff, lifeguards, wastewater, public works, and Memorial Park maintenance staff, and also parking enforcement. So again, go to our website, click on the employment tab. I spoke at the last meeting, Council, about the job that our fire department is doing in terms of administering the COVID vaccination to public safety personnel in York County. And I just wanted to let people know and the council know that this week we've received enough doses so that our department can start administering the vaccination to members of police departments through York County, including our own department. We're also, just so people know, we're working through the system to try to get to be able to administer doses to our residents, especially to our senior citizens. Frankly, we don't have, as you all know, if you're watching the news, there's not a sustainable supply yet in place nationwide, but certainly not here in York County. But I want to just make it clear that we are making the state very aware, the Center for Disease Control here in Maine, very aware that the town of Old Orchard Beach, our fire department, is ready and willing to take on that job to assist our residents here in town. If they do have those doses available, that we stand ready to do that work. And then finally, a nice positive note here. Residents are soon going to have a new means of getting information about meetings and events in Old Orchard Beach. this past week, the long-anticipated electronic message board that is installed in front of Town Hall at the intersection of Saco Ave, Portland Ave, and Old Orchard Street. It's up and it's ready to go. Expect we'll have it functioning by the end of this week. And just so people know where the idea came from, it came from you all, came from our town residents. And 3 years ago, the Community Friendly Connection conducted a survey of our residents to determine what it was, the issues and items related to the town that they thought were of foremost importance. And at that time, we got, of our respondents, 85% of the people who answered that survey, and it was quite a few, were year-round residents. And the issues that rose to the top for concerns were transportation, affordable housing, quality of life, as well as the need for more and better ways for residents to get information about meetings, events, and activities going on in town. And I think we're all aware that increased social interaction is paramount to combating isolation that's often prevalent among older adults, and particularly in this time of the pandemic. 70% of our respondents indicated that they relied on electronic signs here in town and on the banners that we put up for information about these activities. So based on that survey, the CFC leadership, including Pat Brown and Louise Reed, who at that time was assistant town manager and now our Councilor Reed, they approached me with the idea of placing a sign in front of Town Hall. I told them I love the idea, but come back when you got some money. So they did. They accepted that challenge, and they went out, got to work. First thing they did was go to Black Bear Sign Works in Saco, and they obtained a design that they could work with and kind of market. They then went to the planning office and asked what they had to do to be able to get the sign in. They went to the design review committee because of where this sign is located in the historic district. And they got approval to proceed with the project as designed. So next came the big job of raising funds. That started with CFC's Imagine, Dream, Believe event, where they held a silent auction. And the items were gathered by Paul LaFond, an Old Orchard Beach resident, and were sold, and the proceeds were put aside and saved for this sign. CFC volunteer Holly Corda applied for 4 different grants, some of them twice. Take no for an answer. And CFC then, we received a contribution from the Saco Biddeford Savings Institute towards the sign. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle came through a grant from the state's Keeping Maine Healthy program that included funds for the sign. So CFC met the challenge, and when all was said and done, they raised $17,000 was raised, and the sign is going to be in place with no taxpayer dollars expended on it. So installing this message board at our busy intersection out here is just another means to increase the awareness of our town residents. And I think it demonstrates that anything is possible when we all work together. And I want to thank all of our partners who made it possible. Thank you.
Very good, well done, and thank you for that acknowledgement and sharing that information. To new business this evening. Item number 7349, discussion with action. To amend the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 54, Traffic and Vehicles, amending Section 54187, Restrictions and Prohibitions, amending Willow Creek Lane by adopting the underscored language as follows. There will be 1 handicap parking space in front of number 9 Willow Creek Lane, 2051941.
So moved.
Is there a second for discussion?
Second.
Thank you.
Just going to, Captain David Hemingway, Police Department. That request came to the Police Department from a resident, a handicapped resident on that street. The location where the spot is to be proposed is, the resident there has written a letter in support, full support of having the spot there for the neighbor across the street. All the rest of the residents on that street have been contacted, and none of them are opposed to it. So.
Perfect. Thank you for that information as well. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion carried 5-0. Item number 7350, discussion with action. To consider the approval of the collective bargaining agreement with Teamsters Local Union Number 340, effective July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7351, discussion with action to authorize the treasurer per 36 MRSA subsection 944 to record a waiver of foreclosure in the Registry of Deeds for the property at 3 Stagecoach Drive. Assessors record T3195, Shirley Breton, owner.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second.
Through the chair?
Yes.
Just for our residents to understand this, so under state law, any properties that have outstanding tax liens that are 18 months in duration are automatically foreclosed on by the municipality. So if the municipality ahead of time determines that it's not in our best interest to acquire property by automatic foreclosure because it would be a burden to the town, then the town council may vote to authorize a waiver of foreclosure that is recorded in the Registry of Deeds. So with respect to this item and then another item that you're going to address in the same fashion, town staff determined that because of the age and condition of this property, we would recommend that the council direct the treasurer to record the waiver with the Registry of Deeds. The liens do remain in place until they're paid in full by the town. It's just we don't end up owning the property.
Thank you for that. What's that?
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Larry, do we know if anybody's actually living in this property right now, or has it been abandoned?
Yes, they are, and we're actually working with the property owner on coming up with a mutual payment plan to deal with.
Thank you.
With that being said, if there's no further discussion, none opposed, motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7352, discussion with action. To authorize the treasurer per 36 MRSA subsection 944 to record a waiver of foreclosure in the Registry of Deeds for the property at 4 Bayberry Drive, assessors record T1055, Joshua Tremblay and Danielle Goss, owner.
So moved.
Actually, the chair would like to entertain a motion to remove without prejudice, as this is not ready to come before council. If
Okay.
that's,
Yeah,
okay.
so moved.
Thank you.
You're a little quick on that one.
I knew where he was going with it.
Thank you, council.
Through the chair?
Mr. Mead.
Yes, the reason that we're removing this is because the property owner did come in and pay the lien from the 2019 tax year, so it's no longer in jeopardy of foreclosure for this year.
Excellent. That's good news. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7353, discussion with action to authorize the treasurer per 36 MRSA subsection 944 to record a waiver of foreclosure in the Registry of Deeds for the property at 10 Beach Plum Drive. Assessors record T0880, Cynthia Curran, owner.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7354, discussion with action to approve the proposal from Connectivity Point Design and Installation, LLC, in the amount of $6,595.47 for the network cabling at the Recreation Community Building at the ballpark from account number 20118-50350, contingency with a balance of $128,660.95.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second.
Through the chair?
Mr. Mead.
Yes, so now that the Recreation Department has relocated to the building at the ballpark, in order for them to continue to carry on their duties effectively, we needed to upgrade the capabilities of network cabling into the building so that they are able to connect to the town's network without any major difficulties. The other advantage that this is going to provide to us is that we're looking at moving our general assistance administrator over to that building, which has obviously plenty of parking, also would be more private in terms of the interactions, which is important. Plus, the space currently here at Town Hall where the GA administrator works is truly used to be a closet, and it is very, very confined, which was never ideal, but now with COVID, it really makes it impossible to meet with anybody there. So that's what we're looking to do in the near future, and hopefully this winter, just to get that person over there.
Excellent. Thank you for that. If there's no further comments, and none opposed, motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7355, discussion with action. To move Warren Todd Bassett from Deputy Warden to Election Warden. Appoint Jennifer Hayes as Deputy Election Warden, both terms to expire October 29th, 2021. Yep, thank you, Louise. Is there a second?
Second.
Question that a little bit, but it's okay.
I understand. I suppose, huh, if we have to. Motion has been made and second. There's no further discussion, and none opposed. Motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7356, discussion with action. To appoint Holly Corder as a regular member of the Finance Committee, term to expire December 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Council. Motion has been made and second. Again, if there's no further discussion, and none opposed, that motion will carry 5-0 as well. Item number 7357, discussion with action. To consider adoption of a memorandum of understanding with the Southern Maine Solar Collaboration. And this evening, folks, we have Karina Greider with us. Good evening, welcome.
So while Corinna is setting up, I would just introduce this with the following, which is, this is a proposal that the Southern Maine Regional Planning Development Organization has brought to York County communities with the intent of obviously of saving us some money. What it would do would be to lower the town's electricity costs through a cooperative arrangement with several other Southern Maine communities. I believe is it 6 who've signed on total, including OOB?
So 2 have already agreed to sign a memorandum of understanding, and 4 more, including 4 each are as formed.
Right. So this would, in order to promote the alternative energy production, the state last year enacted legislation that would lower the energy bill of consumers through who entered into purchasing arrangements between the developers of the solar energy facilities and utility companies. By entering into this agreement with other municipalities, it would provide us better pricing than if we did it by ourselves because of the combined energy demand be more attractive to them. So, and the town can withdraw from this agreement at any time. So I'm going to bring my mic over to you so that Corinna can give you a little look at what this does.
Great, thanks. Picking me up okay? Well, it's nice to meet you all. Karina Greider. I am the Sustainability Coordinator with Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission. And I was first hired to work with 6 of the towns here in Southern Maine, the towns south of you all, to help them with sustainability-related projects. But through that, we've been looking at other opportunities for towns within all of York County to sort of get involved with renewable energy and energy efficiency projects that are current opportunities in the state. And so that's sort of how we got talking about this solar opportunity, because last year, the Maine State Legislature passed LD 1711, which expanded the Maine net metering program for solar developments to larger scale customers like municipalities, commercial and industrial customers. And so what that allows is for municipalities to enter into net energy billing credit agreements. So it's sort of it's a way for municipalities to be able to procure solar energy without having to build a solar farm here in your town. What you do is that their solar project is built somewhere on the grid, the central main power grid in the region. And then whatever energy that solar development generates, that they transfer that to the utility, which then distributes the electricity. The utility measures how much electricity has been generated and issues what's called a net energy billing credit. And then because you have contracted with the solar developer to buy those credits are issued onto your CMP bills directly as discounts on the price of your electricity, both the price of the electricity and the transmission and distribution costs you're paying. And then in return, you pay the developer in the end for the price of the credits, but at a significant discount rate. And that is where you're saving the money, is that discount between the price you're paying for the credit and the value of the credit being applied to your CMP bills. So this is a little bit different than what you would think of, say you put a solar panel on the roof of your town hall or your fire department building, which is an arrangement where you would be buying the solar panels over a period of time. The net energy billing credit agreement is a really good opportunity for municipalities because there's no money down to pay for the solar panels. The solar farm is entirely third-party owned and operated, so the developer finances, constructs, owns, and operates the solar facility, and the town doesn't have to pay anything up front for that. You enter instead into this net energy billing credit agreement, which is that agreement to purchase the credits from the solar development at a significant discount. And so you don't start paying anything until that solar farm starts generating electricity and starts generating credits. So it offers a really good opportunity for you to decrease your electricity costs and support solar power generation in Maine and the decrease in emissions that are associated with that, while not having to put up the upfront effort or capital to build a solar development here in your town. So where does that fit into sort of how you're thinking about municipal energy use in general? Energy is really expensive, utility costs are high, and so decreasing your energy use and trying to get it from more affordable or lower emitting options is great. And this isn't the perfect solution for everything. There's things to be said for putting rooftop solar in your town or looking at energy efficiency, like lighting upgrades to LEDs. But it's one part of that solution sort of pie that you could get to decreasing your electricity costs and your electricity emissions. So to put this in perspective for Old Orchard Beach, Larry helped me out by getting some data on the town's electricity usage, and it looks like in 2019, the town used over 3 million kilowatt hours of electricity. This is just for your municipal operations. It doesn't involve the electricity used by your residents or businesses. And for that, you spent about $440,000 on that electricity. About a little over half of that is for the building's electricity use, and then about half of that is for the streetlight electricity use. So for an example of what you could stand to save by participating in this program, what if we said that Old Orchard Beach signed a credit agreement to buy enough credits to account for 60% of the town's electricity use? And the 60% is sort of a guess right now. You would have to, in the end, decide what would work best for your town. But that would leave room for if you wanted to upgrade a significant portion of the street lights, which would really reduce your electricity use costs, or other energy efficiency or other energy-related projects you might want in the future in the town. So it gets a little mathy here, but I just wanted to show you sort of how it worked. So what you would do is you would purchase a certain amount of generation from the solar farm. In this case, at 60% of your usage, it would be 1,900,000 kilowatt hours. And then to determine how much that's worth in terms of credits for your utility bill, You multiply that by the credit value per kilowatt hour, and that's set by the Maine Public Utilities Commission each year, so it's standardized across the region. So, and then from that you would see what is the total amount of credits applied to your utility bill. And under this scenario, it would be 233,000 and so $1 worth of credits. And that is directly put onto your bill and discounted from your utility bills. And then to see how much you would save, you would look at what are you actually paying for those credits. And under this scenario, I made a conservative estimate of a 20% discount, which seems like a lot, but I've actually seen from other towns slightly higher offers, so, but I just wanted to be conservative. But even with a 20% discount on the credit price, that would save Old Orchard Beach approximately $46,000 per year. And over the term of the contract, which is a long-term contract as set by the legislation, that would be almost $1 million in electricity savings for the town just by entering into this agreement. So this is just an idea of how it sort of works, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that, but I don't want to get too bogged down into it. But it is complicated, right? And it's new legislation, and there are a lot of different options for how these contracts can sort of be set up. And that's how we got talking with the town managers of the different towns is maybe it'd be worth putting our heads together and figuring out what's the best options for our municipalities as a group, rather than going it alone, each of our staffs having to learn about this new program. And so that's how we sort of came up with the Southern Maine Solar Collaborative, which we're hoping will be a multi-town effort to use cooperative purchasing to negotiate these net energy billing credit agreements for all the participating towns. And how that would work is we would do a single request for proposals procurement process for a solar project to enter into for net energy billing credit agreements with all of our municipalities. So we aggregate our use, we tell the solar developers this is how much we want to purchase, and we see what we get back. And then we work together to select bids and have a standard contract agreement for all municipalities. So we agree upon a developer, we approve, and we select a bid. But then at the end of the day, each municipality is able to negotiate and sign their final contract individually. So you're not tied to signing on to the contract just because everyone else did, but you will work that out yourself and make sure that it fits with your municipality's goals. So what are the reasons to work together besides just sharing knowledge is that by aggregating our demand, we can certainly get better pricing options from the developers by having a larger procurement. Pooling our needs, we'll have a more attractive offer to the developers who might offer us a better deal. It will also reduce the staff time needed by the individual municipalities to run their own RFP process and evaluate options, because SMPDC will be coordinating that and managing that process for everyone. There are other competitive contract terms that we will push forward for our municipalities within the net energy billing credit agreements, like opportunities for performance guarantees, favorable termination options, et cetera. And it also allows for communities with smaller usage to participate, right? So Old Orchard Beach uses a lot of electricity. Some of the towns in our group are smaller and therefore not so interesting to the developers in terms of really securing a lot of solar procurement, but as a group added together, it makes a really great offer. So that's sort of how we got to this point here. We decided, if we want to continue pushing forward on this effort, and we want to develop a request for proposals, we should sort of consolidate and come to an agreement on what we're trying to do here in a more formal way. That's with the Memorandum of Understanding. And at the end of the day, this memorandum is a short-term agreement. There's no financial obligations, or in the end, the obligation for the town to execute the final net energy billing credit agreement. It's really just an agreement that we want to move forward with this group RFP process and see what happens with it. And it shows the potential bidders to the RFP that the group is committed to working together to participate in Maine's net energy billing program. And so that's sort of all I have on it. I know that was a lot of stuff in a short presentation, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have and talk more about the program or the memorandum or the group, whatever would be best.
Through the chair.
Councilor Blow.
I have a question. Does any of these communities that would be members of this co-op have to host a solar field farm?
No, so there are a lot of different solar developments happening in Maine, all over the region, and our plan would be to work with a development that's already being built and being permitted currently in the state so that we can get in on it faster. So, no, you don't have to host it.
So your group doesn't own the solar farms?
No,
So what does your group benefit from?
it benefits from getting a competitive contract term. Right now, the solar developers, there's a lot of different ones of them. They're offering towns vastly different discount rates or prices for the electricity, vastly different contracts. So what you're getting is this confirmation that this is a good deal for your town and that you get a good discount with good contract.
Who funds your group?
So I'm funded by the Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission, where,
Can you say that one more time?
oh yeah, Southern Maine Planning and Development
Okay.
Commission. Yeah, we're a group of 39 member municipalities, of which Old Orchard Beach is one. Yep, so,
I missed that part at the beginning, I'm
oh,
sorry.
sorry, yeah.
Well said.
Any other comments, questions, Council?
Chair. So how many communities are you trying to group into this group?
Currently, we have 6, and we're not trying to get any more. We're trying to keep it sizable enough that it's substantial, but small enough that it's manageable.
Okay. And you want a 20-year contract?
That is the standard contract from the legislation for the net energy billing credit program. So that's what all the developers are offering.
Larry, do you agree that this is a good proposal, or?
Yeah, I think I don't see any downside to it personally.
No.
You know, I do think by joining with a group, we're providing a bigger take for the solar farm owner, which would mean we probably would make out better than if we did it by ourselves. We don't have any investment in it, and we're getting reduced electricity bills. Now, as we invest as a town, there's no doubt in my mind in the next 5 years or so, we're going to be converting our street lights to LED lights throughout the town. That will lower our electricity costs pretty significantly. So the actual amount that Corinna was talking about, maybe $50,000, you know, or $46,000, that would drop because we'd have less electricity that we're consuming. But on a percentage basis, we'd still be doing the same. So, and I think we'd do better than the $46,000 based on what Corinna had told us previously about other municipalities were getting with their negotiations with developers, and so I think we'd be in pretty good shape going forward. And how quickly would this be implemented in terms of our budget itself?
So it depends on when the developments are actually complete, whichever one we agree upon. Right now, I'm working with the town to do this sort of process, and they're looking at projects that will be finished and producing in Q4 of 2021, so winter of 2021.
Yep.
So it'll probably be, another 6 months after that, so
Got it.
probably 2022.
So it wouldn't be for the full fiscal year coming up, but potentially for the January to June period of next year,
Yeah, I feel like that's a reasonable guess.
so.
Through the chair.
Let's go.
Have the other 5 of these communities already committed?
So 2 of the communities have adopted support the memorandum of understanding that their town managers could sign it. You're number 3 to review it, and then over the course of the next month, the other 3 will be looking at it as well.
And were the 2, was that Kittery and Agunquit?
The 2 that have approved it is Kennebunkport and Freiburg.
Kennebunkport and Freiburg, got it. Kittery's looks like they're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our usage is higher than any of those other communities, but Kittery's fairly close. They're 2
Yeah, they're
million,
pretty significant.
2,700,000, was it kilowatts? Yeah, and we were at 3 point something. So that would add to the attractiveness and hopefully increase the percentage discount that we end up getting. And we can, as the memorandums of agreement points out, we can withdraw from the agreement at any time and try to pursue our own arrangements. We are locked into the 20 years.
once you sign the
Yeah,
contract.
whether it's with this group or on our own, we're locked into a 20-year arrangement for this kind of a purchase.
And I'm assuming the 20 years is because with the credits are coming from the solar farms, as an investment in those solar farms, they need that over a 20-year period to help pay back those solar farms. And the reason they're doing it is because they'll actually be able to sell those credits, which they get paid for, but if they can't sell the credits to the municipality, they're not selling their electricity back to CMP, because CMP is giving them a credit. So at the same time, Old Orchard is saving money, again, without any investment whatsoever. So I think it's a great deal.
Through the chair. Larry, in the memorandum of understanding here, line 7 refers to some kind of a dues.
Yep.
Can you explain what line 7 really is saying?
Sure. The question that Councilor Blow asked up front was who's financing their efforts. Well, we as a member already are. Whether we participate in it or not, we're paying for staff time at SMPDC. So we would, I'm sure, continue through the years to be a member of Southern Maine Planning and Development.
Okay. And maybe you know this, maybe you don't. How long does a solar farm last?
So solar panels typically last about 30 years.
30
but-
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So as these things may break down, we get tagged with some kind of a bill in some way? Or
No,
Nope.
we do
It
not.
all sounds too good to be true, almost.
No, we don't. We don't get tagged with bill because we have nothing to do
Okay.
through this arrangement with those developments.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Other comments, questions?
motion to approve?
Second.
Motion has been made in second. Very well done on the presentation. I know there was a lot of information to share in a short amount of time, but you did very well, so thank you for
Great.
being here, your time this evening.
Thank you so much.
If there's no further discussion,
We need to sign this.
And none
One's
opposed?
gonna come around.
Not yet.
and motion will carry 5-0. Item number 7358, discussion with action, to grant the authority to the finance director, treasurer, to disperse payroll checks with only one town councilor's signature in accordance with MRSA, Title 30A, Section 5603, subsection 2, subsection A, subsection 1.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion carries 5-0. And then lastly, item number 7359, discussion with action to reappoint Kim McLaughlin as Register of Voters, term to expire December 31st, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made in second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion will carry 5-0. If there's nothing else from council this evening, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. If there's no further discussion, and none opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you for viewing, thank you for attending, have a good evening.